delighted to say we're joined by the legend, the man himself, Derek Chisora.
Derek Chisora!
Derek, the trilogy's on. Talk to me.
I'm buzzing.
Listen, it's 8 years. It's 8 years, Derek, since you last fought each other. I think I've been around for most of those fights in the last 8 years, quite close to you. How have you changed since that last fight with Tyson Fury? And can you beat him this time?
This time, yeah. When he was with Peter Fury, it was a very tricky fighter because, Peter Fury is a very tricky coach. He likes to surprise fighters. But I think with this American trainer, if he's still training with this American trainer, Tyson's very strong and very big. So he's been trained just use your strength and your size and just go forward. So that'll be interesting. But you never know. So for me, the biggest thing I got right now is I'm sparring two people. I got orthodox and I got southpaws in the gym I'm sparring with. Because you never know what he's going to come out as.
That's the right approach, I think, Derek. It's always, I imagine, to prepare for someone like Fury, it's difficult just because his style changes so much.
It's difficult. What's difficult is because no heavyweight out there fights like Tyson. You get bigger guys, but they don't move like him. So it's difficult. It's hard. It's hard for him to get other fighters who fight like me, who must go my defensive. So it's difficult. Only God knows what's gonna happen on December the 3rd.
Dillian White, I thought, was a bit disappointing, and it was an easy night for Tyson. But is there a chance that the 3 fights with Wilder has taken something away from Fury? Because they were all pretty brutal.
No, I don't think so. I don't never look at it like that. The guy I saw a couple of days ago, he's giving me a big opportunity. Enough respect to that. But at the same time, he is on point. He wants to fight. He wants to fight. He wants to have a go. He's still hungry. He wants to be the pound fighter, heavyweight in the world. The last guy we saw that was Lennox Lewis. So he wants to do that right now by next year. So he's on point. He knows exactly what he wants to do.
No doubt. Now, Derek, if you do pull off what would be, we have to say, a huge upset, presumably you're taking on Usyk for all the belts. And Usyk's a guy that you acquitted yourself well against in the past. So I know people said that you easily could have had you win in that fight. So presumably you fancy your chances in that fight if it all goes well against Tyson.
I'll be honest. On the Usyk fight, I was winning. I won that fight. I knocked him down. They didn't give it to me. This is a problem. And I just hope for this fight on December 3rd that it will be a fair judging and a fair ref. Because there's so much going on in this camp for me. I don't want people to be biased. I just want people to come in with open mind and be fair. Because I know for a fact that I'm not coming to lay down. And he's not coming to lay down. So I just wanted to be fair, basically.
You've got a relatively strange relationship with Tyson Fury. I've seen him FaceTime you, and it starts off, really nice. And how you doing, brother? Then it ends up in a shouting match, and someone hangs up. It will text you random insults, and you go back and forth. But the press conference was very respectful. And there was no tables thrown. There was no craziness.
You know what? Yeah, I think we can't get in each other's heads because there's nothing in there. He can't play mind games with me, and I can't play mind games with him. Do you understand? Because we're from the same cloth. We're from the streets. Do you understand? We can sit here and look at each other and we already know what we're thinking about. So for him to come and start trying to insult me and then me trying to insult him, it's not fair on both of us. It's just like us, not being true to ourselves because his mind is very strong and my mind is very strong. So there's no mind games. So what we can only actually do for each other is just talk politely about each other and just let the gloves go in the ring.
you know, you're at a part of time of your career where, you know what, people say Derek should retire this, Derek should retire that, and you refuse and you keep refusing. And personally, I think you're going to box forever and ever and ever, right? But I want to go back to the beginning. Like, talk to me, because you've not had the normal route into boxing. You don't have the normal. I've just gone down to a gym at 14, 15 in my local area. Come from Zimbabwe, come to the UK. How important has boxing been in your life? And I know you've had, I know you got yourself into trouble over the years in general, but has it kept you out of proper trouble? And talk me through that.
You know what? Boxing for me, I'll tell you what I've been doing for the last 2 weeks. I've been trying to find my probation officer. His name was Peter Yates. He's the man who brought me into boxing. He's the man who got the Metropolis to fund me for my boxing boots, my boxing gloves. You know, because at one point there was nothing happening in my life apart from me getting into trouble. And one day I went to see him, and he goes to me, "Have you ever tried boxing?" I'm like, "I only know Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson in boxing." I say, and he goes, "Let me introduce you to two brothers." And he introduced me to John Oliver and Jim Oliver. God rest his soul, Jim Oliver. And then from then I just fell in love with boxing. So it's just one of those things, you know, you stumble in things where you don't know the talent you have. You know, uh, it's like, I keep saying this: boxing is a poor man's sport. If you are poor, you will box. Do you understand? And then it will pay you at the end of the sport. You know, Carl can be sitting there. Carl's a rich man now, but when he came in the game, he's dead broke. You know, parents were not making money. Same here. Same as AJ. You know, boxing is a poor man's sport. It's not a rich man's sport. People become rich afterwards. You know. But before that, everybody in boxing, they were so poor and broke. Yeah, they didn't know what to do with their lives. Then they go into boxing. So, boxing for me it's one of those things, one of those sports that I hold dear to my heart, because it done so many things for me. So when I see when people are doing certain things in the game and not respecting the game, I respect the game. What I do for to get people to talk about it. But when I see, fighters is not doing the right work, when I say disrespecting the game, I mean like you get fighters who are fighting for a big fight, they don't train, they don't make weight, and they have to pay fines and stuff. That is disrespecting the game, you know. But boxing for me is unbelievable. It's great, It's one of those sports like you tell yourself you're retiring from it. After 4 days, man, you're back up working in the studio, like kind of like my man here, or you're back in the gym training some other fighters. You can't just it's in the blood when you
Derek,
start that.
see when the money's made. Marvin Hagler's famous quote was, "It's hard to get up at 6 a.m. in the morning when you're sleeping in silk pajamas." So once the money's made, where does the motivation come from after that?
You see, I think I haven't had made any money, and that's why I still wake up at 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock to run, bro. But I still sleep in silk pajamas. Do you understand? Uh, it's just listen. You tell yourself that. For me, I always respected myself. I respect myself in a way that I tell myself I have to be up at 5 o'clock. By 5:30, I have to be outside my gate and running my 4 miles. Yeah, that's my respect for myself. If I don't, that means I don't respect myself as a man. If you respect yourself as a man, if you tell yourself something, if you write something in a diary, you have to do it. And afterwards you feel great. Like today, I woke up at you know 10 to 6. By 6:30, I was in the gym doing my Versa climber. You know, yes, even when you got money, but it's the same thing. When you got money and you love the game and you love the training and the hard work, bro, you do it because
Yeah.
sometimes it's like the feeling. You know, it's one of those things.
Derek, absolute pleasure. It's always a blessing to speak to you. Go look after yourself and
Thank you.
enjoy
Good
camp. I'll
luck,
see you
Derek.
soon.